Well, good morning, everyone. I will now call to order the May 15th, 2025 Clackamas County Board of Commissioners Business Meeting. County Administrator Gary Schmidt, would you please call the roll for us?
Yes, Chair Roberts, thank you. First, our staff support today, County Counsel Jane Vedo, Clerk to the Board Andrew Jaraki. Commissioner Schrader is out of the office today. Roll call, Commissioner Savas.
Present.
Commissioner West.
Here.
Chair Roberts.
Here. Thank you, Gary. Now, would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the first public communication portion of our meeting today. Testimony is limited to 3 minutes, and I ask that comments be respectful and courteous. As a reminder, you can email submissions for public communication at bcc@clackamas.us, and these will be accepted as a part of the public record. I will now open the public meeting portion for testimony. I will take in-person testimony first. I imagine we have a lot of folks here testifying on behalf of the courthouse and Main Street Courthouse, and that will come second. So we're asking the folks that plan on testifying on that to hold your comments till we have that section of our business meeting. So Clerk, I'll go ahead and turn it over for you to moderate the in-person and virtual testimony for us.
Thank you, Chair. If you are here to comment in person today, this is a reminder to please fill out one of the blue cards that can be found by the main center doors and deposit it in the box. I will call on them in the order that they are received. You will have 3 minutes to speak. Please come forward and introduce yourself. I will call them forward 2 at a time. First, Jarrett Grandone, and Joyce Johnson. Jarrett Grandone and Joyce Johnson, come forward, please. Mr. Grandon, go ahead, please.
I was encouraged that this would be the place to start speaking about this. So, hello, fellow commissioners. My name is Jarrett Gradone, and I come to you as part of the collective consciousness to bring into action what has been revealed to me. It is my honor to share this vision of helping to bring diverse communities together while feeding the population with locally sourced produce. This came to me at a time in my life when I struggled with mental health and addiction and was hitchhiking through Northern California. I came to a town called Etna when I had lost all hope and given up on living. The fruit trees planted through the town helped nourish me and keep me alive until one day I decided to take steps to heal. The earth provides, and with no bias. I believe we can do the same by joining together despite differences and finding commonality by planting fruit trees to start to help feed and care for our people. I'd like to even film this great act of kindness and togetherness so that we may show that we can accomplish together and how we have more in common than differences. I've heard before to help make the world what you want it to be instead of sitting on the sidelines and hoping someone will do it for you. By the words of Immortal Technique, not one person can do everything, but everyone can do something. And I've sent you guys an email of the fruit trees that can be planted, and the cost is about $10 to $30 per. And I believe this could be something to be brought locally and then maybe statewide to be on the ballot initiative. So, thank you.
Thank you, Jared.
Do I just go?
Ms. Johnson, go ahead, please.
My name is Joyce Johnson. I live on Gordon Street near Putnam High School. Last time I addressed this group was on September 14th, 2023, and there are neighbors, I'm one of them, who are involved in trying to figure out how to get the school zone established when it never has been. So I'm going to start here. We were referred to the Safe Routes to Schools program, and an audit of the pedestrian and car traffic occurred on February 24th, 2024. Jim and I, Jim Bong, who will speak, and representatives from Putnam and County Traffic observed the chaos in the morning and afternoon on that day. We had a planning meeting and compiled our observations and topics for further planning by the county. Most in the group agreed that there were many factors that contributed to the unsafe conditions for students and traffic flow. Rothy's speed limit was lowered to 25 miles per hour at the end of that summer by the county. New big signs indicating the high school entrance were put up in both directions, and that seems to have helped visitors and people who start going to Putnam to find the school. The Rex Putnam High School sign at the entrance was put up in about 1998, in my understanding, and is old, dark, and hard to see and not visible from both traffic directions. No school access and dead-end signs visible for westbound traffic from Oatfield went up on the corner of Gordon Street to dissuade people from going to the school via the exit driveway from Rothy on Gordon. I may be leaving out a few details of the completed action plan, but we are appreciative of any improvements to try to address student safety in the school zone and with the out-of-control traffic caused by this short commuter route, but it's far too little and there's no enforcement. This is an underserved, diverse, low economic and dense area with students of all ages accessing bus stops in the morning and afternoon. The crosswalks are unlit and dangerous, and the cars rarely stop as they speed up and down the hill between 99 and Oatfield. This was well witnessed by all of us at the audit. It was and is agreed that both crosswalks need touch lights to alert cars that pedestrians need to cross in this school zone. A community development block grant was applied for by the county senior planner, Scott Holscher, as a result of the audit and assessment by the Safe Routes to Schools process. It applied for touch lights at the Austin and Rothy crosswalk only. It would have required 4 corner ADA improvements. It was denied. It feels like someone's going to be fatally injured before anything substantive is done to address the danger to students on our road. I am frustrated and appalled at the lack of serious responsiveness to this problem. It gets worse over time and has never seriously been addressed in the 34 years I have lived on Gordon. It is disheartening to see lots of development in the area when we are ignored. We continue to get maintenance money dribbled to us and desperately need a capital improvement plan or some other magical solution for a deadly problem. What is the procedural recourse for so little action? We're exhausted. I have background to give. And at the time we first came in 2023, we were asked the county to do something that was needed in this barely established school zone. Jim Bong has been working with the county since 2014 to address the needs. They finally marked the street crosswalks with vertical signs showing pedestrians in 2017 for this school zone of a school that opened in 1963. They continued to tell Jim in emails that the issues on Rothy were a priority and they were looking for funding. No CIP has ever been earmarked for Rothy improvements. If it had been, the improvements would possibly have been finished by now. And we are exhausted about this issue. So thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you to you both. Next, I have James Bong, and Henry North. James Bong and Henry North, come forward, please. Introduce yourselves. You'll each have 3 minutes.
Hello, my name is James Bong. I have lived on Gordon Street for 63 years, quite some time. Right now, at the present, I brought Henry North with me today. He crosses the crosswalk every day at Rex Putnam to go to Rex Putnam High School. And yesterday, he was almost fatally killed in the crosswalk. The cars come down off of Oatfield at a high rate of speed, 40, 50, 60 miles an hour through the school zone, and there's no enforcement. We've been in touch with Clackamas County Sheriff to try to get some enforcement done, and they don't have the people to man it. I've seen him there a few times. And Heather, our neighbor, walks to the bus stop every day with her child, as do all the parents of the young children. She complained about it to me yesterday. At least 40 young children catch buses on this road. K through 12 use these crosswalks every day. Approximately 7,500 cars a day travel Rothy, give or take, because, well, right now Jennings is under construction, so it's almost doubled the amount of cars using using Rothy Road. I know that situation is temporary. The main issue is the crosswalks are not safe. Dozens of videos of people trying to cross the Gordon Street crossing. The neighbor on the corner has a camera and she records them every day trying to cross the crosswalk, and 4 or 5 cars will pass before they let the people cross the crosswalk. They're doing 30, 40, 50 miles an hour through the school zone, not only down the hill, but up the hill. Rothy Road is a half-mile-long stretch of highway that runs between Oakfield and McLaughlin. In my opinion, a stop sign at Austin Road would be beneficial, but the county engineers say that's not possible because the counts don't adjust to have a 4-way stop at that intersection. Also, Henry, he crosses the intersection, and all the elementary students that catch the buses off from our neighborhood have to cross Rothy in the afternoon to go home. The bus stops and waits, but the cars sometimes will zoom right by without even, not even thinking about slowing down. They'll go right by the bus. And these incidences occur at any time of the day. Rex Putnam High School is a very busy facility. It has football stadium, baseball. People use it all the time. All the neighbors use the facility for walking and exercising. Everybody is scared of Rothy. I'd like to give our gratitude to Christian Snuffin and the engineers for the work that they have done at the school, or at the school entrance, and they slowed the speed limit to 25. That was my recommendation 11 years ago when I started this, working on this, because I can look right out my kitchen window and see what happens at this crosswalk. Someone is going to get killed, and I don't know how to resolve this problem or what to do, but something needs to be done. Because when a student gets killed, it'll be on the news and all this stuff will happen, and then things will start happening at the intersections for both Rothy. We were working with the Safe Routes to School for Children. We all met at the intersection, like Joyce said. They observed everything that happened 2 times in one day in February, and it's completely out of control. The traffic is just out of control. And
Thank you.
they tell us, well, it's driver, what do I want to say? Driver responsibility to slow down or whatever. People don't slow down.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
My name's Henry. I'm one of Jim's neighbors, and I go to Rex Putnam every day. In the morning, it's crazy because there's buses and, like, people get dropped off at the school. And I have to, like, go between cars to, like, even, because people, like, stop right on the crosswalk. And on the way home from school, when I walk through that crosswalk, there's the same problem. Then yesterday when I was walking home, and this has happened to me multiple times, people like fly down the hill, and there was somebody that slammed on their brakes and their bumper was like a foot away from me. And my siblings are going to be attending that school in the next couple of years, but they're going to be, and multiple of my neighbors, we have a lot of young kids in our neighborhood. And I just hope no one gets killed. And one of my old neighbors, she got injured 10 years ago on the same problem. And yeah, that's all I have.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you to you both. Next, Brian Shaw. Brian Shaw and Mitch Williams. Brian Shaw and Mitch Williams, come forward, please. Introduce yourselves. You'll have 3 minutes each.
Yeah, just a reminder, we have 3 minutes. We have a lot of people today, so I just ask you to be respectful when that buzzer goes off for 3 minutes. Thank you.
Mr. Shaw, go ahead, please.
I'm here for the courthouse thing, so I don't know if you're on there yet.
We're not.
If you don't mind pausing, please. Sorry about that.
It's okay, yeah.
Of course. Thank you, Mr. Shaw. Mr. Mitch Williams, go ahead, please.
Good morning, Chair Roberts and Commissioners West and Commissioner Savas. My name is Mitch Williams. My home is near Brightwood, and I'm here to advocate and ask you to appoint Christine Lewis to the number 4 Commissioner position. I understand that the board has interviewed Christine. You know her background and accomplishments, working as a District 2 Metro Counselor, representing about 60% of the Clackamas County's population for the past 6 years. She understands Clackamas County and how it functions. You know that her experience with legislative management responsibilities at the county, state, and metro levels of governing, which include budget, land use, transportation, affordable housing, public safety, affordable child care, and health and mental health issues. With the appointment of Christine, Clackamas County, this board, and our fellow citizens would gain an informed and experienced addition right off the bat. Given the current federal budget proposals calling for deep cuts to state and county funding, Christine is able to bring a depth of knowledge and endurance during this crisis of economics for Clackamas County and in turn the state of Oregon. With her youth, working class, life experiences, mother of 2 children, Christine will connect well and in turn benefit and mirror the myriad of issues throughout Clackamas County. I beseech you all, including in absentia, Commissioner Schrader, give her a chance to prove herself, to assist and to collaborate for the challenging economic times that we are all facing. I am 68 years old, so I'm comfortable to suggest to you all it's time to begin to hand the reins of leadership in government over to our talented, experienced, and determined young folk. You remember when you were 40, when we were in our prime. Please put our Clackamas County first and appoint the best. Thank you for giving me this time to share my opinions.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Next, Steve Smithstead and Danny Johala. Steve Smithstead and Danny Johala, come forward, please. Introduce yourselves. You'll each have 3 minutes.
Is courthouse yet? We can speak on courthouse yet, or?
We're not at the courthouse.
guess.
No.
Mr. Smith, go ahead, please.
Chairman Roberts and Commissioners West and Savas, thank you for this opportunity. My name is Steve Smithstead. I live in a rural forest area 10 miles east of Sandy. I moved to Clackamas County back in 1971. I'm a retired critical care RN, a former financial negotiator and labor management partner with Kaiser. I'm concerned about citizens who are currently underrepresented on our county commission. Within our county, there are many demographic groups. People have talked for years about uneven east side, west side representation, both in our county and in Multnomah County, referring to the underrepresented social economic needs of the more economically challenged east side. Urban flight to the suburbs and rural areas with ensuing development has created affluent pockets of wealth on both sides of our county, blurring the once prevalent social economic divide. Affluent suburban areas like Lake Oswego, Happy Valley, and Wilsonville have bloomed over the last 40 years or more, as have many rural areas like those surrounding Damascus, Canby, and Sandy. The most prevalent social economic divide now is not geographic, it is generational. I'm a 73-year-old senior citizen who's become affluent. I'm a baby boomer, like 2 of you, and I, like all affluent Clackamas County seniors, am very interested in being represented. I'm sorry, I threw this off. And I'm very well represented on the commission. In fact, we are very overrepresented here. Young adults are underrepresented. When we were young adults, housing, education, transportation, and childcare were much more affordable than they are today. We had economic struggles, but nothing like today's younger generation faces. Today's millennials and Gen Zers born in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, who are now in their 20s to early 40s, represent the age group struggling hardest to get ahead of their bills, debts, high cost of living in order to prosper. Now, 4 of the 5 selected finalists are from our baby boom generation, between the ages of 64 and 72. They have very good resumes. 3 have past experience as public servants. 1 is currently serving. They've prospered, and they've come from affluent, economically advantaged communities. I'm not an ageist. I'm opposed to ageism against both the old and against the young. And I believe that it's difficult for many members of our baby boom generation to relinquish our grip on power. We just saw that recently in Washington. It is time that we make way for the passion, energy, and new ways that members of our younger generation can bring to problem solving on our Board of County Commissioners. We have a great opportunity at hand. Christine Lewis has an outstanding resume. She's an experienced public servant currently serving a majority of her county on Metro while raising her young family. She's a millennial who is personally experiencing affordable issues. She is brilliant and has passion and energy to take on these affordability issues. She's a candidate most capable of immediately working effectively for us. I encourage you to appoint Christine Lewis to work alongside you on the Board of County Commissioners. Thanks for your attention. I thank you each for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smithstead. Next, Christine Kennedy. Christine Kennedy, please come forward. And this is a reminder that if you wish to speak today in person on anything besides the courthouse and have not yet filled out a blue card, to please fill one out and deposit it in the box by the door. Thank you. Ms. Kennedy, go ahead, please. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you. I appreciate a few minutes. Chair Roberts, Commissioner West, Commissioner Savas, thank you for the time. My name is Christine Kennedy. I have spoken to this board several times before. I live in Lake Oswego. Today, I am speaking as a community health activist and as a grandmother. And time has passed, but here I am again to talk about vaccination. So I understand from the news that there was a measles epidemic that impacted Clackamas County and another county in Oregon, and I'm sure that it was dealt with very well by your very competent staff, because I really hadn't heard about it. So I just want to say I am a basic public health person. I was a nurse for 45 years. I remember when I got my polio vaccination. So please support your community health people. It is important for us to know what our vaccination rates are. I would ask if you're monitoring that, and I would appreciate really a very detailed report on different areas, what the vaccination rates are. I think that's really important. Basic MMR, that's all I'm asking for. We should be able to get that. Thank you. Second of all, I want to speak to the issues around mental health and suicide prevention, and I'd like to highlight that there is going to be an event, as I understand, co-sponsored by Clackamas County and by Lake Oswego this coming week on the 15th. Is that correct? Okay. Yes. And I just want to highlight that. I think that's a wonderful thing to do, because I know personally that I am suffering from stress, and I do everything I can do to take care of my own health, and I encourage everybody else to do that. The third thing I want to speak about is affordable housing, working families. I have 2 adult children who are, one is a millennial and one is a Gen X. I don't know how we did that, but there definitely is a difference between the 2 of them. Affordability is a major issue. What's happening in the schools is a big deal. I know that's not your purview, and I feel very privileged living in Lake Oswego. So I want to say that affordable housing, education, when I hear about these exhausted, wonderful people who are in this, I'm in a very odd situation. I'm older than the Pope. I'm younger than the president. So I have seen a lot in my day, okay? So let's just get to work. I know who I would hire. I've looked at all the resumes. I know who I would hire. I've done a lot of hiring. I think you should know, too, who you should hire. It's about the future. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
This is a final call. If you are attending this meeting in person today and would like to comment on anything besides the courthouse proposal, if you've not yet had a chance, this is your final opportunity to please stand up, fill out a blue card, and come forward to speak. Chair, seeing no other people who wish to speak in person on this matter, I will now move to online. If you are attending this meeting virtually and would like to comment on any matter besides the courthouse proposal, I'll now ask you to please raise your hand, and I will call on you in the order that I see. Janelle White. Janelle White, I will unmute you. You will have 3 minutes. Introduce yourself, please.
Thank you, Ken. And everyone.
I'm sorry, you cut out. Could you please repeat that?
Yes, I was just making sure that everybody can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak and share my thoughts regarding the lack of traffic enforcement on Rothy Road. I live on Rothy Road, a resident near Putnam High School, next to Oatfield Road. I've witnessed an overwhelmingly increase of speeding cars on Rothy Road and have personally experienced a huge loss when I had a speeding, uninsured driver wreck into my property and leave the scene. This incident happened on January 27, 2025 at 8:15 a.m. during school hours. I personally had to pay over $2,700 to repair and replace sections of my fence. This was after the speed limit had decreased to 25 miles per hour. My home is located just before the school zone of 20 miles an hour, which is Monday through Friday, 7 to 5. I have personally made over 10 online traffic complaints in the last year, with the most recent being on 5/12/2025, addressing the speeding issue. I've also sent 2 requests for the radar speed sign on April 7th. The response I received back was to contact the sheriff's office, the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office, regarding the speeding. I let them know, isn't that the purpose of requesting the speed sign? I've also sent correspondence to Nicole Perry, who is the Clackamas County Coordinator for the Safe Route School. I've had an ongoing email since 2/25/25 to current with her regarding the lack of enforcement that is provided in the school zone and what's being done to help with the speeding cars. I've been told to contact the sheriff's office. I let her know that I have contacted the sheriff's office. I've provided suggestions when I spoke to the traffic sergeant, Griffith, last summer. Those suggestions included painting the speed limit sign on the road, asking the school resource officer to have a presence on Rothy Road during school hours, traffic missions, larger signs with the speed limit, and moving the speed limit signs to make them more visible. After the incident to my property, I did send an email to the sergeant at Clackamas County with the damage and frustration with the traffic, as well as sending an additional email to the Clackamas County Engineering Department showing them how this has financially impacted me because of the speeders on this road. I've yet to receive a response from either one. The residents who are in the unincorporated areas in the Clackamas County that fall under the Enhanced Law Enforcement District have zero support for getting any of these issues that we face under control. I've made online complaints, I've made suggestions, provided how this has impacted me financially, sent numerous emails to the Safe Route Coordinator, sent emails to the Clackamas County Engineering Office, and several traffic complaints. I just want to know who is finally going to help our area and make it safer. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I appreciate your time.
This is a final call. If you are attending this meeting virtually and would like to speak on any matter besides the courthouse proposal, please raise your hand. I will call on you in the order that I see. Mr. Chair, I see no one else from the public who wishes to comment on any matter besides the courthouse proposal, either in person or virtually today.
All right, thank you, Clerk. I will now close the general public communication, and we will move on. But before I do that, I want to give my colleagues a chance to respond. I would like to start with Gary, though, first. Gary, you had a comment.
Yeah, so on the transportation issues regarding Rothy Road, our staff has been working with this group, and we've done some things, but clearly not enough. But what we have done so far is, as you've heard, reduce the speed, added directional signage, made crosswalk improvements, and there is the Safe Routes to School study. This project is in your walk-bike plan that you discussed earlier this week, and that you will have a further decision in early June. So there is further development to enhance and work on these projects in your walk-bike plan, as well as the transportation system plan update is coming this year as well, and there's a chance to add these improvements to that plan as well. So there is hope coming. I'm going to ask our staff to reach out to all those that testified today, and we'll communicate with you again to making sure we're taking this very seriously, which we are. It's time and money, but this is a very important project. We'll work to help make sure it's addressed.
All right, thank you, Gary. Commissioner Savis, did you have a comment?
Yeah, just real quickly, I appreciate all the people coming forward today on the Rothy Road. I remember when you all came before us before, we made some adjustments, but I will reach out to Sheriff Brandenburg in particular about this. I do understand it. My kids went to school at Putnam. I also live off of Risley, and we have the same issue about cars speeding down the hill and creating very dangerous situations. So it's not uncommon, and I will again ask the sheriff maybe to exercise a little bit more enforcement in that area. There's nothing like slowing people down than a patrol car.
All right, Commissioner Savis. All right. Before we move on, I just want to say thank you for those in the nursing field, Ms. Kennedy. I know Commissioner West. We also had another nurse. I just want to thank you for your service, and I know we have some retired firemen here too as well. So just want to say that before we move on. Thank you for your service. So, Gary, what is next on our agenda this morning?
Thank you, Chair. Next is a public discussion item, opportunity for public testimony on the Main Street Courthouse request for expressions of interest, selection advisory committee recommendation. There's no fiscal impact currently, and there's no county general funds involved at this time. I would like to ask Tony Marinek, Policy Advisor in the County Administration Office, to give a really quick update on how we got to where we are, and then this is a chance for you to hear from the public on this proposal.
Thank you, Gary.
Chair Roberts, Commissioners, my name is Tony Marinek. I'm a policy advisor with County Administration. I'm going to back off that microphone a little bit. We are here today because in 1884, Ruth Campbell sold a piece of property to the county to build a courthouse. I'll skip a bunch of history after that. In 1936, we finished the Main Street Courthouse, for lack of a better term. It was a Works Progress Administration project to replace an 1884 courthouse that had been deemed unsafe. The current courthouse has been deemed mechanically obsolete, structurally functional. It's not going to fall down tomorrow, but it's a little challenged. And more importantly, the county does not have any identified purpose for the property. We do not have any services that we are looking to move into the property. At this point, it will cost about $346,000 a year to keep that vacant building operational, if you will. Out of that discussion, last year, this board, a previous composition of this board, directed staff to assemble an advisory committee to ask, what should we do with the building? That advisory committee met over 3 occasions, made a recommendation to the county commissioners to sell or transfer the courthouse to an entity that would contribute to the economic vitality of the downtown Oregon City area. I'm hoping I get the phraseology there correct. Out of that, previous composition of the board directed staff to assemble a request for expressions of interest. That is an ask for ideas. We are looking for thoughts, schemes, proposals, we'll take anything. I'm not looking for a final Mona Lisa level piece of art. I'm looking for a pencil sketch. That RFEI went out to approximately 450 plus development firms, including 2 historic redevelopment firms, over a variety of means. I had a fair amount of engagement from folks asking for copies of the RFEI, but I will clarify that I received exactly 1 proposal, 1 actual response to the RFEI. No other indications of interest. Nobody else said, hey, Tony, we're working on something. We need time. We'll get something to you. Or even we're working on something. And I never heard from them again. So that 1 proposal, and I do want to clarify a little bit because there has been some social media engagement over the last week at the request of the board to get the word out about it, and you'll see some folks in the back of the room that are here as a result of that outreach. I do want to clarify what the proposal is, because the wording on one of the social media posts may have left people with the impression that we were intending to convert the existing building into something, that we were going to build housing using the current building. I do want to clarify this proposal would result in the demolition of the existing courthouse and construction of a new building on the same parcel. It would have approximately 84 residential units, 1 ground floor commercial space. It would retain Liberty Plaza. The architecture is intended to respect the historic context. They are not looking to build a glass and steel, shiny Ritz-Carlton type structure. We are intending to reuse some of the historical elements, and I will offer that as part of this being a pencil sketch, we haven't finalized what that would look like because we haven't been directed to move forward. We are still in the proposal stage. The developer has indicated they are open to continued discussions around what that reuse looks like, of elements of the building, I should say. Some of those elements have already been relocated. If you have a chance to visit our new courthouse next week, the vault door is installed in an art display in the main lobby of the new courthouse. We are also looking to add 48 below-grade parking spaces in what is currently the basement level of the courthouse would become a parking area, 9 surface-level parking spaces to the existing surface lot off of 9th Street. We'll note that the courthouse relocation is expected to reduce the parking load in the downtown Oregon City area. Also would revert some of the parking on 8th Street that is currently reserved to the courthouse would be reverting to public parking because it is no longer needed to serve the courthouse. And ultimately, at some point, the developer would be dedicating Liberty Plaza to the city. The precise terms of that, again, remain to be discussed and negotiated and confirmed. Earlier in April, I should say, an advisory committee met to evaluate that one proposal and make a recommendation to the board as to whether or not to proceed. The question that I put to them was, do we look at this proposal or do we tell the board, look at another option? That advisory committee's recommendation was direct staff to enter into negotiations with the developer, come back with final documents, move this project forward. They did offer one consideration that I'll expand a little bit on because there are some.
Would you please wrap this up?
Yes, absolutely. There is one consideration I'll clarify. They are asking that the county not do this in a fee simple sale where we walk away at close. Anything besides that, development disposition agreement, some other sort of arrangement that would contractually obligate the developer to build the project and stay at the table, continue to be a part of the discussions as this moves forward. And with that, I'll wrap up.
Right. Thank you, Tony. Before I move on to public input, are there any comments from either one of you?
Just one. I want to note that I saw some of the messages and emails. I read as many as I could, and some people are not aware that this proposal includes parking. And some of the comments I saw said there's no parking in Oregon City, so therefore I just want to just clarify there is parking, though it's limited. There is parking proposed in the basement level or the lower level.
That is correct.
Go ahead.
To clarify, is there also not parking behind, surface level parking behind the actual new structure also? So it's below and additional parking that is surface level on the property also?
There will be 48 spaces in the underground parking space. There will be, currently there's about 15 parking spaces on 9th Avenue in a lot that's on part of the parcel. We'll be adding about 9 spaces to that existing parking lot.
And previously, law enforcement used to park behind the courthouse when there was enough land not currently in the river to park there, right?
That is also correct.
You have like less than 4 feet before it hits the courthouse now, so no longer can they park. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you. Well, I'll now open the meeting for public testimony on this specific topic only. So testimony, again, is limited to 3 minutes. We have a lot of people, so please be respectful of the 3-minute time. As a reminder, you can also email submissions for public communication at bcc@clackamas.us, and these will be accepted as a part of the public record. I'll take in-person testimony first. I'm going to turn to my clerk and ask him if he'd be so kind to moderate the in-person and virtual testimony for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Once again, if you would like to comment and you are attending in person, please make sure to fill out a blue card that can be found by the center doors and deposit it in the box. I will call on them in the order that they are received. First, Denise McGriff. Denise McGriff, please come forward. You'll have 3 minutes.
I would like to defer my testimony until the end, if I may.
Sure, that's fine.
Next, I have Jessica Economo and Dan Fowler. Jessica Gonomo, please forgive. Thank you. Please forgive my poor eyesight. And Dan Fowler, come forward, please. You'll each have 3 minutes. Introduce yourselves.
Yeah, I filled mine out last.
The clerk decides the order. Thank you.
Okay,
Go ahead,
great.
please.
Hi, my name's Jessica Economo. I own Oregon City Records with my husband in downtown Oregon City. We've been on Main Street since 2008, so it's 17 years. We're on the other side of the Arch Bridge, however, which isn't a main concern for most of downtown. We've survived the bridge closure and COVID, and I guess my main concern for the courthouse, I'm actually for it. I think it would be wonderful. We think it would be wonderful. Parking is the biggest issue. Parking already is an issue. And, I mean, for most of the businesses in downtown. I don't know how much the courthouse revamping is going to alleviate that. My main concern is the 84 units that's proposed, and then the 72 parking spots that are going to be allowed for the 84 units. Excuse me. So I guess my main concern is, where's the overflow of residents? Where are they going to park? And are they going to take up parking for the businesses at night? People who come down for dinner? That's my main concern. So that's my testimony.
Right, thank you for doing that.
Thank you, Chair Roberts, Commissioners West and Salvis, good to see you all. Dan Fowler. I'm speaking to you with 3 different hats on. One, as a former elected official who sat through many land use hearings and decisions just as you are about to make or eventually will be making. And second of all, as a contractor developer who has done over 40 projects in the downtown and McLaughlin district. I've done a lot of historic restoration work and adaptive reuse of buildings for 46 years. And 3, as a lover of history. I was, my first forte into public service was to sit on the Historic Review Board of Oregon City, and later on becoming the first chair of the Historic Review Board for Clackamas County. So I understand process, I understand development, and I love history. And the lens that I look through are all 3 of those, because you try to make a decision that fits your mind and your heart and your pocketbook as a developer. And I just want to commend the development firm. They've taken a serious look at this project, and I think it's time to transition that property and to work with that developer in the future. On a personal note, I would like to say that I know Seth and his firm for 4 or 5 years. He was turned down when they wanted to move forward on not turned down, but stopped when they wanted to move forward on a development of the landfill, because that issue was voted on and not supported through urban renewal in the city of Oregon City. That did not deter Seth from staying engaged with our community like I've never seen anyone do before. He cares about Oregon City. He's become an active member of our downtown association and deserves a real good shot at helping transition Oregon City's downtown at a time that it's really needed. So that's my testimony. Thank you very much.
Thank you both.
Thank you. Next, William Gifford. William Gifford and Petronella Donovan. William Gifford and Petronella Donovan, come forward, please. Introduce yourselves. So each have 3 minutes. Mr. Gifford, go ahead, please.
Chair Robertson, Commissioners West and Savas, my name is William Gifford. I live in Oregon City. I'm going to state the obvious, that there is no decision that you can make that's going to please everybody. That said, I think to state the obvious, it's your obligation to do what's best for the county seat, for the county, and for Oregon City. It's the only arguments that I've heard against this proposal, well, number one is it seems kind of ludicrous that there was only one application. Well, you know what? It's difficult to develop anything in Oregon City. And that particular property is particularly challenging. So the fact that we have one not just as a default option, but as an exceptional option that meets every criteria that anybody could ask for, except for the negative, oh, don't tear down our historic building. Number one, it's really not historic. It's less than 100 years old. It's not on the historic register. It's certainly not the National Register. It's something that, as much as I love old buildings, I'm not going to miss that one at all. But there are some things I think that can mitigate that, and the fact that to recognize the historical significance of some of the architectural amenities to that building that could be preserved and placed to remind the citizens of that particular style of architecture, that particular location was important, and so on. But we don't need to keep the whole bloody building. Another thought that occurred to me was possibly take some of those architectural elements and find a place for them in the new courthouse to remind people this is what it used to look like. And it just occurred to me today, but it's not a bad idea if we could find some way of doing that. In any event, I don't know if you're going to be making decisions today or not, but I certainly support this project and hope that you move forward on it.
Thank you.
Chair Roberts, Commissioners West and Savas. Commissioner Savas, I bumped into you at the Capitol a couple of days ago in the hallway at Salem.
Did you apologize?
No. My name is Petronella Donovan, and I'm proud to be an Oregon City resident. I've been here for 30 years. I graduated from Oregon City High School, and I went to Clackamas Community College. I have been a business owner here for 26 years. Oregon City is my home. I deeply care about its future and where we're going for right now. I am here to express the strong support for the proposal for level development northwest for the Main Street Courthouse site, and to respectfully ask that you move forward with negotiation as soon as possible. This proposal offers a real community-focused solution and does that without any public funds. Your criteria included financial capability, experience, economic vitality, historic preservation, Liberty Plaza, retention, parking, and speed. This proposal meets or exceeds all of those points. Some may be concerned that this was the only submission. That should highlight for us how complex the site is. Staff put in effort, and we were fortunate to receive one serious, thoughtful proposal from a local trusted developer. As for historic preservation, the courthouse doesn't rank among Oregon City's most historic properties. Mount Pleasant School did, and it was removed by the city for city development. And Liberty Plaza. The original request was to preserve it. This proposal improves and extends it with a dedication to the city at completion. I hear this often from many business owners. We need more foot traffic, more housing, more public space, more vibrant downtown. This project brings all of that, and again, without asking taxpayers to fund it. Let's not miss this opportunity and revitalize downtown. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you.
Next, Jonathan Owens and Andy Bussault. Jonathan Owens and Andy Bussault. Please come forward, introduce yourselves. You each have 3 minutes.
Maybe Andy Bush.
Bush.
Okay.
Please forgive me, Mr. Bush.
No problem.
Mr. Owens, go ahead, please.
Chair Roberts, Commissioners Savas and West, thank you for the opportunity to speak today and for including the Oregon City Chamber of Commerce in the Courthouse Committee. My name is Jonathan Owens, and I'm here today as the Executive Director of the Oregon City Chamber of Commerce. As you prepare to determine the future of the courthouse site, the business community urges you to see this not just as a redevelopment opportunity, but as a once-in-a-generation chance to spark transformative economic growth in the downtown of the county seat. The decision you make at this moment will shape our community for decades to come. Today, I'm here on behalf of the local business community to urge you to prioritize expedience. Neither this opportunity or this community can afford more delay. With economic uncertainty looming, tariffs driving up materials costs, and banks tightening their lending criteria, every day of indecision endangers this project's viability and downtown's fragile economic momentum. Our downtown businesses depend on consistent foot traffic and private investment to survive. The courthouse has long been a driver of that activity. Without it, we risk losing the vibrancy and economic vitality our downtown has worked so hard to regain after COVID. Oregon City needs a win, and the window of project viability for this site may be closing quickly. We need a strong, economically driven plan progressed with urgency to fuel economic growth and momentum in the county seat. At this point in time, we recognize that public funding merely adds uncertainty and risk to this project. We desperately need stability. For that reason, we ask that any proposal that you progress be fully self-sustaining and financially feasible without relying on taxpayer funds. I ask you to act today with small business in mind, and I ask you to direct your staff to negotiate a fair agreement so this project can move forward. An empty building, regardless of its architecture or its history, does not draw people downtown. It does not support local shops or restaurants. It does not add vibrancy or quality of life to this community. It simply deteriorates. At this point, timeliness is everything. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Bush.
Thank you.
Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thanks for having us today. My name is Andy Bush. I'm joined here today with my dad, Tom Bush, Jr. He and I are fourth and fifth generation Oregonians and have operated a furniture store in a building across from maybe 3 different renditions of a courthouse. We started in 1885, so we are probably the oldest neighbor to the courthouse. The level development proposal meets all selection criteria. I think the project exceeds economic vitality, historical preservation, and Liberty Plaza retention requirements, which, you know, for a developer to add that on, I think is pretty amazing and will be a big asset to our downtown. I believe the complexities of the site justifies a singular, high-quality submission from a trusted local partner. The project supports downtown revitalization and directly aligns with the priorities of local businesses. The project enhances Liberty Plaza, adds parking, brings residential and retail components to increase downtown foot traffic and activity. My concern for not making a decision today is a building and a property that will be derelict and issues with unsavory activity and public safety. I hope for a speedy decision, and I'm excited to meet new neighbors that live in my downtown. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you both.
Thank you, gentlemen. Next, Juliana Allen and Danielle Walsh. Juliana Allen and Danielle Walsh, come forward, please. You each have 3 minutes. Ms. Allen, go ahead, please.
Good? Okay. Good morning, County Commissioners. Thank you for this opportunity to provide testimony today. My name is Juliana Allen, and I am a resident of Happy Valley, Oregon. I serve as the Executive Director of the Downtown Oregon City Association. I'm also a former small business owner on Main Street, and I had the honor of serving on the Selection Advisory Committee for this courthouse project. Since stepping into this role nearly 2 years ago, I've had countless conversations with community members, visitors, and business owners. 3 topics come up almost every single day: parking, the houseless community, and this courthouse. As these conversations have evolved, a clear theme has emerged. People are deeply concerned about the economic health and future of the downtown once this building is vacated. The uncertainty around what comes next is already being felt. Throughout all these conversations, I have viewed this process through one consistent lens: what is best for the downtown business district? The people in the district have invested their time, their energy, and their personal finances into building a vibrant downtown. Losing a single day of revenue can be challenging, but months or even years of indecision or inaction could be truly devastating. Any delay in moving forward with this proposed redevelopment will directly impact the very people and businesses we are here to support. The experts the county hired to evaluate the condition of the building were clear. The courthouse is unfit, unsafe, and not viable for reuse. It cannot be seismically upgraded in a financially feasible way. So this is no longer a question of what to do with this building. The answer to that is evident. The question now is, how long are we going to wait to move forward? The longer it sits, the more it harms the economic health of our downtown. There is no expedient, viable path forward for this building with any certainty in its current condition. Allowing it to sit vacant and deteriorate would damage our local economy, hinder reinvestment, drain county resources, and diminish the community spirit that has taken years to cultivate. Preservation must be more than about sentiment. It must be grounded in purpose and feasibility. And in this case, the cost of saving the structure is far too great, and there is no plan, let alone one that moves in a timely manner to protect the downtown businesses. What's on the table is not just a good plan. I truly believe it is the best plan the county could have received. It includes housing, retail, parking, and an improved Liberty Plaza, all elements that will activate the block and serve the broader community. This is a rare and critical opportunity. It's a once-in-a-lifetime chance to shape the future of the downtown in a way that benefits everybody. I think we all agree preservation has its place, but it cannot come at the expense of economic vitality or the quality of life. I urge you to move forward with urgency, leadership, and action, not tomorrow, but now, today. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing us time to comment. My name is Danielle Walsh, and I own a business that sits at the corner of 99E and Main Street, White Rabbit Books and Black Ink Coffee formerly, and we just rebranded as White Rabbit Book Cafe. I've been in business for 11 years in Oregon City, 6 down on Main Street, and I'm super excited about the Riverwalk and the movement of the Confederated Tribes of Grand Ronde, but I'm going to be honest with you, I sit next to a defunct site. So people start walking on my block, they see it in front, and they turn around before they even get to me. It's okay, I'm going to make it, but I'm asking you to please not do that 2 blocks in the other direction. I am requesting respectfully, efficient and speedy movement on this proposal. Leaving the property empty is a death sentence to many indie businesses that line our vibrant Main Street. So many of us have invested our time and love and energy. We know our business neighbors, we know our community, we provide services, kindness, and we are really needing your help on this. I want to express my complete support for Level Development's vision of what will happen here. So retail and restaurant we're a little restaurant heavy. So having retail and residential added parking is amazing. And then these upgrades to Liberty Plaza so that we can continue to have community events and bring people down to the Main Street. I'm just really excited about it. And then I also wanted to say, so all of these people were invited to give proposals, and only one did. And it's a person that I have met over and over again in this community. During this rebrand, we were closed for a very short amount of time, 5 days, and we had a lot to do. And I'm going to tell you, without knowing I was going to be here or that I would give my support, who showed up? Seth, with his drill, put together furniture, put up signs on the wall, loaned me his personal pressure washer. He's been a member of this community and wants to invest. So the one that we got is the best one. It's the company that wants to invest in us. And I think we should take it. Thank you very much.
Thank you both.
Next, Tara Wanstall and Jake Joy. Tara Wanstall and Jake Joy, come forward, please. You'll each have 3 minutes. Ms. Wanstall, go ahead, please.
Thank you. Good morning, esteemed Chair and Commissioners. My name is Tara Wanstall, and I'm the owner of Watershed Cafe and Bistro, located directly across the street from the proposed development site at Main and 8th in downtown Oregon City. I'm also an Oregon City resident. I'm here today to express my strong support for this proposal, not only as a community member, but as a small business owner whose success is intertwined with the energy and activity in our downtown core. This proposal has the potential to be transformative by bringing much-needed housing, retail, and people into the heart of downtown. And this plan will directly support small businesses such as mine. Increased foot traffic and visibility are essential to our survival and growth. Right now, there is no housing in downtown Oregon City. That means no built-in population to support small businesses, no natural foot traffic during evenings or weekends, and a missed opportunity to create the vibrant, walkable district our city has been working towards for decades. This proposal brings new residents, activates a key downtown block, and fills a critical gap in our urban fabric. For my cafe, the economic impact could be significant. More people living downtown means more regular customers, more energy in the area, and more stability for local small businesses. I also want to stress how important it is that this proposal includes added parking, both a lower-level garage and expanded surface parking. This is absolutely critical. Parking is one of the most common concerns for visitors, my customers, and downtown employees. By increasing available supply of off-street parking, this proposal doesn't just support downtown, its own residents and retail, it supports all of downtown. As the owner of a cafe, I say firsthand that easier access to parking directly impacts whether people choose to come downtown to dine, shop, and spend time. The fact that this development adds parking rather than taking it away makes it a win-win. The design is respectful of our historic core while adding much-needed density. The inclusion of ground floor retail improves access to an expanded Liberty Plaza, and thoughtful parking solutions shows that the team has considered both the community's character and its practical needs. I also want to commend the developer, who has a strong reputation in our region and a deep love for Oregon City. They are not outsiders. They know this place, they respect its history, and they're proving that with thoughtful design choices. One example I want to highlight is their commitment to incorporating historical elements of the current courthouse into the new development. That kind of care and attention sends a strong message. Progress does not mean erasing the past. Just as respecting that past does not include supporting progress. This is responsible community-minded development. However, I want to emphasize the importance that we move quickly. Every delay costs small businesses like mine real revenue. We are ready for this growth, and the longer we wait, the more opportunities we lose. This isn't just a good proposal, it's the right one, the right place, and the right time. We're fortunate that in the one proposal we did receive, they got it right. It is supported by the selection committee and recommended by the county staff. I urge you to move forward and approve this proposal without delay and direct county staff to get to work negotiating an agreement now. Our downtown and our local small businesses are ready for this investment. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Joy, go ahead, please.
Hi, my name is Jake Joy. I'm the owner of the Verdict Bar and Grill. I'm right next door to the courthouse. I want to point out something. Everybody's talking about parking. Currently, there's 300 plus, well, maybe not this week, but before this week, and they're moving out, there's 300 plus people parking downtown for the courthouse, and now we're looking at 84 residents. So it's quite the improvement right there, not to mention adding the extra parking. But I'm here today to say that I'm 100% in favor of the proposal presented for the future of this space on our Main Street. We need to get this project moving fast. Small businesses on Main Street are in urgent need of a positive change. Building a beautiful new structure with parking, clean, updated community space, and 80-plus residential dwellings is exactly what this street needs. Seth cares about this city, and I believe him when he says that he can make this a speedy and low-impact project. This plan caters to existing and future small businesses, creating a beautiful home for many, freeing up parking, and creating ideas for other vacant buildings on Main Street. The alternative to this plan is wasting taxpayer dollars on maintaining a failing building that is literally sinking into the river, missing out on a perfect opportunity. It is crucial that we move fast on this deal and get to work as soon as possible. This will not only create local jobs, but give us a reason to possibly expand our restaurant and shop hours to serve the community and the people working on this project. In turn, helping us local businesses and creating more local jobs. We cannot wait. Our Main Street is suffering. We desperately need this project and frankly more like it. The biggest complaint about this area is paid parking, lack of spots, and this is the perfect answer. Live-in customers that walk to businesses and built-in parking for them. This is the right thing to do, and it is what we desperately need. Oregon City's founders saw something special about this area. Please don't drag this on, and let's make this Main Street as amazing as the founders pictured it when they first settled here. Thank you.
Thank you both.
Thank you. Next, Cassandra Beldowitz and Jerry Herman. Cassandra Beldowitz and Jerry Herman, please come forward. You each have 3 minutes.
You got that right. I'm impressed.
Ms. Beldowitz, go ahead, please.
Good morning. My name is Cassandra Beldowitz. I'm the owner of Corsella Cellars right on Main Street in 8th, so I'm very close to the courthouse. My concern with not going forward with this is the vibrancy and the energy that downtown Oregon City has been working towards. I have only owned my business for about 1.5 years, but I picked Oregon City specifically because I loved the community and I loved what Oregon City was working towards. I believe in this community. I feel like our business does a lot of work in terms of bringing the community together in our space. We have many people who have become friends who didn't even know each other in our space. And without this project going forward, I'm worried about the future of my business. I also am worried that leaving it to just fall into disrepair would be more costly as years go by for the city and the community, and also possibly for the other businesses surrounding that area as well. Energy feeds on energy. People love to come downtown and see people walking around, enjoying dinner, lunch, having a good time. If that building falls into disrepair or is just fenced off and people don't want to see that. That's not the Saturday or Thursday evening vibe that people are looking for. So yeah, I highly encourage this goes forward quickly. I think this is a really great proposal. I think that he's hit the nail on the head for all of the things that you requested. And I think it will be a great opportunity for us to grow downtown in a meaningful way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioners, my name is Jerry Herman. I run an education and training program for at-risk youth called Rivers of Life Center. I sent you something, or had Carolyn Hill give it to you, which had a graphic on the back about Salem, and you're going to say, what's the matter with him? And then a letter on the front. Let me just explain what that was about. First of all, I met Seth Henderson when he was working on his project for Abernathy Green, which was to transition the landfill. By the way, that was your landfill back in times, your jurisdictional lands. It was very important, that landfill, for dealing with waste in a new way. He had a terrible effort to try to make that thing work, but boy, did he make it his #1 effort with DEQ, EPA, and others. It hasn't come to fruition yet, but it was an incredible time to see him work on a very complex project. The courthouse, I want to talk about Center Court, that's the name that I'd like to call it, is a very important piece of land in the downtown district. My father had a business for 50 years, Vernon Herman's Menswear, and I washed every window in the downtown of any of the buildings that are there. That was my job. One way or the other, Seth's proposal, level development, to take the building and reduce it or remove it and do other things is commendable in that it allows other things to open up. That site is very important because it is next to the river, and it was at one time the most important dock on the Columbia Willamette in the Oregon Territory. It was called the 8th Street Dock, and commercial activities occurred right below the courthouse location. Seth's proposal is to install, as you know, numerous domiciles for upscale and moderate level living, not just low income, but obviously another level to introduce people to the downtown in a new way. Imagine tour vessels being able to come there. That's not his proposal, but to a dock that's reestablished in conjunction with a whole new complex down there, a whole new complex, center court that could happen there. And then imagine the other improvements that it would generate in the area. You know, the reason I put Salem on there, Salem has a redevelopment project on their riverfront right now. Mayor Chuck Bennett 5 years ago, Mayor Chris Hoy 3 years ago, and Mayor Julie Hoy, not related, are all looking at River Shore, a new project down there that's going to include retail and other things right by the river, which is kind of what this is about in a way too. Vancouver, my goodness, Vancouver's been very successful with what they've done. Wilsonville's now looking at their waterfront. So we'd like to see you give an opportunity for level development to work on this project, because we think Center Court could really be the center not just of Oregon City's redevelopment and great work they've been doing, but Clackamas County, a place to really board vessels and have a great time. Thank you.
Thank you both.
Thank you. Next, Kent Ziegler and James Graha. Kent Ziegler and James Graha. Come forward, please. You'll each have 3 minutes.
It's James Graham. Look, we're doing our best, but your handwriting could all be improved too, okay?
Which one do you want us to go first? Which one?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, James Graha.
Mr. Ziegler, go ahead, please.
All right, thank you. My name is Kent Ziegler. Thank you very much, Chair Roberts, Commissioners West, Commissioner Savas. First of all, I'd like to applaud you on an amazing accomplishment you've done in constructing your new courthouse next door. It is a unbelievable, strong-looking structure, and it's long overdue. I think we would all agree with that. Having been in the old courthouse a few times myself, I can see why you needed a new building as quickly as possible. I, too, am a fourth-generation Oregonian. I, too, have spent most of my life in Clackamas County, and I'm here for 2 reasons. I'm the president of the Oregon City Business Alliance, and our sole purpose is not to just see businesses survive, but to thrive. And we continue to seek ways to support those businesses in whatever ways we can in connecting them with services and other resources. I've also been a land developer in Clackamas County my whole career, doing dozens of subdivisions, including the Street of Dreams just outside Oregon City on Redland Road, which turned out to be very, very successful. But I'm here today to ask you one question. And that question is, what do you have to lose in accepting Seth's proposal? The longer you delay making a decision and going forward in a dialogue with serious negotiations, the more time he has to come to the same conclusion that close to 450 other companies came to. And I don't think you can afford that risk. You have an excellent proposal in front of you right now, as I think Commissioner Savas made the statements that I've read. It hits all the criteria we've been looking for. The fact that it includes housing and parking creates an entirely new dimension to downtown Oregon City in the evenings that they haven't had ever. Housing in downtown Oregon City does not exist. And we all know how much shortage of housing we have right now. And activity does breed activity. Having construction of a new facility will get the attention of other businesses that might want to consider coming to Clackamas County and Oregon City. I know other communities are looking at redeveloping their downtowns, and it really does make a difference. I know Seth, he's on my board of directors for the Oregon City Business Alliance. I respect his ability to take a very complex, challenging facility in the courthouse and break it down into components that are manageable and can be accomplished. He already has a timeline in place, if he can accomplish it, to do the demolition during the winter months when the rains will settle all the dust down and the businesses are not hitting the activity they do during the summer months. So like I echo what everyone else has said, I strongly suggest you accept Seth's level proposal. Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is James Graham, and I'm the Economic Development Manager with Oregon City. And this is my 34th year in economic development. And I've developed commercial real estate most of that 34 years, so I know a little bit about development. I'm here not to speak so much on behalf of the proposal itself, but the next step, actually. Once it's been decided as to what is to happen with the property, but to encourage you to remain as a partner with the developer, no matter who it is. And not to turn the property over as a fee simple project whereby the developer, whoever it is, could do what they want and unfortunately not meet your expectations. So what I encourage you to do is, after the decision has been made as to what to do with the property, to put together a very small development group comprised of probably a finance person, a commercial developer, and someone who's involved with basically an attorney. And you start with that, and of course, members of that development group would change as the project goes through different phases, but remain as a partner so that the project meets the community's needs. Because I've seen too many projects start off one way and end up another way, and everybody's upset and mad and that kind of thing. Things do change, no doubt, but to stay as a partner with the developer until the project is finished, and that the property remains in your control until such time it's time to turn it over to the developer. And the other thing is that I would like to say that at some point in the early stages of this project most likely will flip to somebody else, because the developer is not in the business of, many developers are not in the business of running whatever they put up. They basically will be involved in the project to getting it off the ground and then selling it to somebody else. So you really should have some say as to who owns the project next. So those are my comments. Thank you for the time.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Next, Victoria Menig and Claire Met. Victoria Menig and Claire Met, please come forward. You each have 3 minutes. Ms. Menig, go ahead, please.
Chair Roberts, Commissioner Savas and West, thank you for this opportunity.
Is your mic on? Pull your mic maybe just a little closer. Thank you.
My name is Victoria Meinig. I am the board chair for the Downtown Oregon City Association. I'm an Oregon certified economic developer and currently a city planning commissioner. I have worked for the Oregon City School District, and I'm the former CEO of the Oregon City Chamber of Commerce and a dedicated resident of Oregon City. I respectfully urge you to move forward with the negotiations with level development for the courthouse project. Excuse me. Having toured the courthouse and reviewed all the reports and assessments, I speak with firsthand knowledge of its conditions and its maintenance costs. I was a part of the original committee that recommended the county explore the options for transferring or selling the property with a request for a formal request of interest. I also helped evaluate the proposals submitted through the formal request process. This proposal aligns with what truly sustains a vibrant, healthy Main Street. It brings housing that supports round-the-clock activity, retail space to serve residents and visitors, additional parking, a public space to gather and to celebrate, and a design that honors our historic roots. It will replace a deteriorating, unsafe structure with something strong, beautiful, and community-focused. Crucially, this project returns the property to the tax rolls, strengthening the city's ability to fund essential services for those who live and work here. Delaying any further invites decline. An empty, decaying building threatens both the safety and the economic health of our downtown. If you don't believe it, review the broken windows theory. Level Development's proposal addresses every key county priority and contributes meaningful to the future and economic vitality of downtown Oregon City. In addition, we are truly blessed to have someone who doesn't live here who is committed and dedicated to this project. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Claire Matt, and I reside in Oregon City for a number of years. I have quite a history of support for historic preservation in Oregon City. My family has restored 4 homes in Oregon City with the help of Dan Fowler, including the 1851 Ainsworth House. I've also served several terms on the Oregon City Historic Review Board. And presently, I am serving on the Oregon City Chamber of Commerce Board. I have always felt that Clackamas County Courthouse should be preserved, but in the last year or so, I have extensively read about its many challenges. I now realize there are many risks at this site, especially when a seismic event would happen. I have thoroughly read several times Level Development Northwest's proposal, and I'm impressed with what they propose. I think the commission would be hard-pressed to find a professional group that would be able to bring new life to downtown Oregon City, all with no public funding requirements. This team has had several large successful projects, which is a testament to what they can achieve. The courthouse is no longer in use at the center of downtown. The city needs more housing, and the downtown sorely needs more parking and good retail stores. This proposal would provide a much-needed economic driver that would accomplish all 3. Downtown has no multi-family housing, and parking has always been a big challenge. I really like that they also plan to expand and improve Liberty Plaza so it can continue as a favorite gathering place. My favorite part of their proposal is their plan to identify with SHPO, the State Historic Preservation Office, with their assistance, components of the old courthouse and incorporate it into the new building. I strongly urge you to quickly approve Level Development Northwest's proposal to replace the Clackamas County Courthouse. Thank you.
Thank you both.
Next, Brian Shaw and Danny Johala. Brian Shaw and Danny Johala, come forward, please. They'll each have 3 minutes. Mr. Shaw, go ahead, please.
Thank you. All right, Chair Roberts and commissioners there. Brian Shaw, Oregon City. I'm a building designer here in Oregon City, been for about 35 years. Done a lot of historic restoration work with Mr. Fowler back here with his company. There's been times that he's brought me into a couple projects, and I'm saying, I'm not going in there, you know, but his company managed to save a lot of these, and that's where it kind of got into my blood about saving structures. So it pains me to think about demolition of a historic structure, kind of historic structure of the courthouse. So, and I was on the fence until I saw Level Development's proposal. And that kind of tipped me over to say, it's going to be okay. We'll demo this building and replace it with something there that's going to bring a spark to this city that I think we need. And as Mr. Herman said, you know, it's just not that building. It's the things that are going to happen afterwards. Maybe it's the 8th Street dock, who knows, you know. So, and I was one of the founding members of that historic review board you've been hearing about today, and that's back in the early 80s. So, like I say, I have a real place in my heart for the history of this city. So it's been tough for me, but I do urge you to And I sat on the building committee for the Oregon City Library. There, we saved the building, the library building, and added on to it. But I also sat on the building committee for the new city police station, the Robert Lipke building up there. And there we had to demo a building that was the Mount Pleasant School. Again, you know, it pains me to do that. But the nice thing about with how the city does it and how you guys are doing it is the process. You know, so keep going, keep doing what you're doing. And I urge you to expedite level developments project there and encourage him to have maybe a grocery store on that level, because you've got a bunch of people living down there and there's some retail space there. So anyway, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I like that.
Yeah.
Good morning, and thank you for hearing our comments. My name is Danny Jahala, and I'm the owner of Studio Gray Store downtown. I have been in the historic McCall building for 3 years. I have a fashion boutique and accessories. I also want to mention that I was born in Vienna, Austria, and I therefore really value historic buildings and to preservation when possible. But as a business owner, I come to you with the urgency to really look at this development and move forward quickly, because like it has been mentioned by some of the business owners, every day that we have to wait and every day that we lose business, be it a snow day or any other problem, we lose customers, we lose foot traffic, and vitality creates vitality, and a fenced-off building for years at $350,000 cost a year is, for us, it's, as a small business owner, we cannot, sit and wait for more, developments to come forward if they do. So one of the things that we really, the economy where it is right now, foot traffic is so important to us, and we do what we can advertising our businesses, but when there is no foot traffic, we will slowly go out of business. I have watched in the last 3 years many of small businesses fold because there was just not enough foot traffic, and with every business that goes out, we lose customers as well. We have such a strong community. We are supported by the Downtown Association, and we're so grateful for that, because with Wine Walk and with events and with our fun First City celebration, we really want to show off our beautiful downtown, and we're really proud of it. And I'm really asking you and urging you to put the urgency into it that is really needed for us small business owners. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Before I turn to the last 2 blue cards I have received, this is a final call. If you're attending this meeting today and would like to comment in person, this is your last opportunity to please fill out a blue card that can be found by the door and deposit in the box. Thank you. Next, I have Seth Henderson. Seth Henderson, come forward, please, and you'll have 3 minutes.
How's that volume? Pretty good? I think we're still morning, so good morning, Chair Roberts, Commissioners Savas and West. My name's Seth Henderson. I'm here today with my partner, Jenny Jenkins from Level Development. Originally, I had a very specific testimony I was going to give, but first off, I just want to thank everybody who showed up. It's actually been relatively emotional for me, because typically as a real estate developer, I'm the bane of everyone's existence. So it's reassuring to know that the efforts put in to try to help a community is actually appreciated. The primary reason why I'm here today is answer any questions that you might have. So I figured since testimony was going to be given, I'm sure you've read the 25 pages of the response that we submitted, and if you had specific questions that you wanted us to respond to directly, including parking, I am happy to address those today. And if this is only testimony, I'm happy to step away as well, whatever is most
It's only
efficient.
testimony, so if they have specific questions for you, they'll call you back up later.
Okay, terrific.
We have your contact information. I wouldn't mind sitting down just to get a sense of your perspective beyond what I've heard here today, if there is any, but we'll see where we end up with. If we actually move forward with this, then I still, regardless, I want to sit down with you just to learn some of your thoughts.
Thank you very much for engaging the community. Obviously, governance is best when there's community engagement, so appreciate it.
Thank you.
The final two blue cards I've received for in-person testimony today on this matter, Chair. First, Oregon City Commissioner Mike Mitchell and Oregon City Mayor Dennis McGriff. Denise, excuse me. If Commissioner Mitchell and Mayor McGriff could come forward, please.
I know that you could read my handwriting because
Please forgive me, Mayor. Commissioner Mitchell, go ahead, please.
Good morning, Chair and Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Mike Mitchell. I'm an Oregon City resident, and as been mentioned, I am an Oregon City Commissioner, and I serve as Chair of the Urban Renewal Commission, but I'm only here today speaking for myself, to make that clear. Before we had our joint meeting, which I hope we can do again on other topics, we all received two letters, one from the Oregon City Chamber of Commerce and one signed by 18 business owners in downtown, many of whom you've heard from today. And they landed on three goals, which I will also say align with virtually every conversation that I've had with constituents about this, that whatever happens needs to be an economic and traffic driver for downtown, preserve Liberty Plaza as public open space, and make something happen as quickly as possible. And that may be the most important one. And I would also add one more, and that's the housing. We know we need housing. There's no way to add economic vitality to an area more than the 24/7 activity that comes from people that live there. So that's another goal. And the level development proposal checks all four of those boxes. On the other hand, the idea that's been floated of potentially saving the building with public money involvement. Consider this, the amount of time necessary to rewrite an RFEI and get it out there, the amount of time for developers to analyze that, do their due diligence, and maybe step forward, and oh, by the way, they didn't when we tried that, so why do we think we'd get a different outcome? The amount of time necessary to bring this before the Oregon City Urban Renewal Commission, which may not approve of it, and we have a charter requirement for a public vote, which may not get approved. By the way, the county clerk's deadline for the upcoming November deadline for initiatives is August 15th. That's 90 days from today. There's no way on earth that you'll get through all of those steps that I laid out by August 15th. The next opportunity is next May, a full year from now. And you've heard from downtown business owners, every day that that site sits vacant is an existential threat to their ongoing business and to downtown Oregon City. So on the one hand, you've got a proposal ready to go from a qualified developer that checks all the boxes. On the other hand, you have a proposal or a suggestion, the hint of a proposal, that would have at least a one-year delay with multiple points of potential failure along the way. I urge you to go forward with the level development proposal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. And to correct Andrew, I am not here, and I want it to be perfectly clear, as the mayor of Oregon City. It is a role that I have, but like my friend and colleague Dan Fowler, I wear many hats. I have a lot of hats here in Oregon City, and many of the people in the audience behind me are people that I work with on a regular basis through many different avenues that I participate in. So I am here today as a representative from the National Trust for Historic Preservation. I have been an advisor representing the state of Oregon since 2009. I replaced Mary Obrist, who was the former representative, so that is why I am here today. I wanted to just give you a little bit of my experience. I have decades of experience in the fields of economic development, historic preservation, land use planning, urban renewal, and the development of disposition and development agreements, all for different properties. As you know, over the years, I have worked tirelessly to advocate for many things in our state as a trust representative, including the Veterans Memorial Coliseum, the Willamette Falls Locks, and most recently, Mark Prairie Schoolhouse. And by the way, we had our open house yesterday, and I will invite you to come. I have access to the building, so I'd love to give you a tour of that. And also the Ermatinger House, the Carnegie Library, as was mentioned by Mr. Shaw, just to name a few. I also, as a member and former board president of the Bosco Milligan Foundation in Portland, Oregon, I give walking tours of Oregon City downtown, the gems in the McLaughlin neighborhood, and other areas in our community. The downtown tours, I will have one coming up in August, features the courthouse and the Weinhardt building, and I am so glad that my friend Tom Bush is here. Haven't seen him for a while. But I do want to point out a couple of things. Being the fact that I have been an advocate for all of those things over the years, I did participate very actively over the last 15 years to try to get some attention from the county regarding the courthouse, because I knew inevitably, based on some articles I passed out to a committee I was on, from 1977, front page of the Enterprise Courier talked about, oh my God, the courthouse is moving, what do we do now? Well, we've been talking about it since then. I appreciate the fact that former Chair Smith did initiate a process. However, I felt it was too short and too brief, and we didn't get to talk about all of the issues that I felt needed to be brought up. There were no architects or professionals in historic preservation that were invited to participate on that, and I felt that that was a lack. We did invite, as my guest, Brandon Dole, who works for SEA, who worked on our library. He did participate. But what I really want to talk to you about is the consideration of having a DDA. They are very, very important. I think it was brought up by other people that just turning this over in fee simple is not the way to go. And I will ask you for indulge me for a little more time. Disposition and a development agreement involves much more complex than a fee simple agreement, and it makes a lot of difference in terms of dealing with a building of this stature to look at all the components that need to be addressed. Now, I'm not here to advocate for or against the level development proposal, because I don't think that that's appropriate for me to do that as a trust advisor. But I do want you to know that I do work with Seth on other projects, and we are collaborators and colleagues on many activities to promote Oregon City. So I do hope that you will consider that, and that you will involve some professionals, not only from the city, and consider a disposition and development agreement for this proposal. And I thank you for your consideration. And on behalf of the National Trust, happy Historic Preservation Month. I hope that you will someday do a proclamation to declare that, because Clackamas County is where it's at, and we have so many historic resources here that are very important to not only Clackamas County and its cities, but to the nation. Thank you.
Thank you both very much.
Chair, we received a final blue card. Betty Mum. Betty Mum, if you could please come forward. You will have 3 minutes.
You know, I don't blame you. I couldn't understand most of the writings either. Hi, I'm Betty Mum. I live here in Oregon City. A little history. I have been on the City Commission in the past. I've served on many committees within Clackamas County, Oregon City. I did step away for about 10 years for personal reasons, but I've been back for a while now, as you well know. And my heart has always been Oregon City. So I understand preserving the building. I do, I get that. But I want to tell you, I am younger than the president, older than the Pope. And when I worked in that building when I was 17, it had issues. So that building just needs to go because it is having so many problems. And I understand that people have a hard time with that because I have lived here forever. And when they tore down the Mount Pleasant School for the building that's currently there for the police, my kids went to Mount Pleasant. I mean, there's just a lot of history for me here in Oregon City. I want you to understand history. I would like for you to move forward with this development as soon as possible. And I know people would like to have you stay involved, but I'm not sure that you want to spend more money on that building and stay involved. And it will take a couple of years for the city of Oregon City to come up with the money through urban renewal to pay for that building, to have it in the end be demolished because it will have fallen in by then. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Betty.
Chair, seeing no other blue cards for anyone who wishes to comment on this matter specifically in person, I'll now move, with your assent, to online testimony.
Go ahead.
If you are attending this meeting virtually and would like to comment on this specific matter, I'll ask you to please raise your hand, and I will call on you in the order that I see. I see no other members of the public, either in person or virtual, who wish to comment on this specific matter today, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. I will now close the public comment on this item and want to open it up to my colleagues for any questions or comments. Commissioner Savas.
I really appreciate everyone coming out here today and expressing your comments and ideas. I do recognize that having whether it's a DDA or some agreement that assures that what's proposed is built is something of importance. I concur with that. That'll be a detail that if the board here this morning does approve this, that was something that I'll be advocating for. I think, frankly, the city of Oregon City, the downtown area, there are so many natural assets, the falls, the river. There is so much opportunity. I think that this project, not this project alone, but that coupled with everything around there, what the Grand Ronde property is going to produce, the falls, all of that. I think this is a catalytic project, and I think this whole opportunity is catalytic. So I just want to say that this is a moment, this is a special moment, in my opinion. This is a really special moment to turn the tide and bring some vibrancy, not only to the city of Oregon City, but to Clackamas County. And I just want, I think we all want to see something happen. And I know that through the years that we've been fighting with a number of issues, not the tribes themselves, but the tribes themselves as a partner trying to get something to happen. And it's going so slow. And I'm always concerned that sometimes that slowness, that just really just takes some of the energy out of the room or the opportunity. So I hope that we can move quickly, or the developer can move quickly. And obviously, this is within the city of Oregon City. Obviously, a lot of the zoning development, all of that, the permitting, all that goes through the city. So I'm hopeful that we can all be a partner, the county, the city, the developer, and the community, the business community as well. So I'm excited to move forward. I just hope that we're ready to make a move here today.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner West.
Thank you, Chair. I have to say, this might be one of the most impressive gathering of community small business owners I've ever seen as an elected official in the middle of a work day to advocate for something they're passionate about. I grew up in a pretty low-income, middle-class family, and my dad had to work extra hard to make sure that we had the things that we needed. And he was a businessman. He's a small businessman. He worked in construction for a while. He owned a few Quiznos. And I know that what my dad had to do to sign the front of a paycheck. And it wasn't always easy as a small business owner. And there was no safety net for my dad. but with integrity and showing up and waking up early and investing in something that he was building, being innovative and giving back to community. I watched my dad live those values every single day. I heard so much of that from the small business owners on Main Street today. I live in Wilsonville, but I love to go down there and frequent many of your businesses. There's a few of those that are still on my list, and I'll make sure I patron your business soon. There's a few themes that were very clear today. Urgency, expediency, move quicker. Listen, those are common themes with any business. Time is money, right? These decisions made around you in your community impact you directly by your local government. The decision made today or in the future by this board will impact you directly, probably more than decisions that may happen from different levels of government. I always say the government next to you, closest to you, impacts your life the most and your business the most. And I think today we have the ability to do something right. I have to say this, Seth, I've watched you grind and fight and advocate as a job creator, an innovator, developer that's unlike any other that I have seen in the community. The brownfield site didn't quite go the way or was planned or expected, and that happens. Voters chose, right? But you did not give up on Oregon City. You wanted to be part of the solution to make sure that Main Street was viable for all of Clackamas County, not just historically and respecting that history, but also for the people that call this home and do business here. I was getting emotional listening to the stories about what you did for your community members and how you served. You share our values because you're one of us. I am kind of relieved you're the only one we had to pick from. You made that part of this very easy, my friend. So, we didn't plan on making a motion today to move forward, but I think we've heard loud and clear that urgency, expediency, and being quick is what you all want for your community. And government all too often moves way too damn slow. So today I will make a motion to move forward with your request. Chair. Today, with much excitement, I move that the Board of County Commissioners direct staff to enter negotiations with Level Development Northwest towards a development and disposition agreement for the Main Street Courthouse and to return at a future date with the drafted documents for review.
Second.
Right. Commissioner West has made a motion. It's been seconded by Commissioner Savas. I'll restate your motion. Sounds like you have it written there.
Yes, yeah.
I did want to have some comments here on discussion. And first of all, my point is this is a big thank you for all the businesses, Mr. Herman, just a tremendous amount of community leaders have showed up today. And the business community down there is very important. It's nice to hear somebody from the Verdict. I've been there a number of times. And it is just really great downtown. And I see not having that courthouse there is, with the traffic, is a huge impact on your community. And I do believe in the urgency. The thing I would ask Gary, we're missing a commissioner here, which is Commissioner Schrader. She's actually flying back. And I really try and be inclusive of everybody. We also give public the opportunity for emails, comments, and which I'm sure today, I know we've got a lot of interest on this. I would like to hear everybody's comments. So I guess the question I would ask to Gary is how, because I do hear the urgency. My question is a little bit is, we've known this courthouse was going to be vacant a long time ago, and so I really feel like this should have been done a long time ago. So I agree with Commissioner West on the sense of urgency is critically important, and I feel the decision is of the utmost importance that we do it quickly. So my question to Gary would be is just to include Commissioner Schrader in this conversation, how soon could we come before, bring this up for a vote amongst us?
We could bring it back as soon as next week. The intent of this discussion item was for you to hear from the public. You actually directed staff to do this before you made a decision. You've heard the public today from 21 dedicated, enthusiastic people. There are thousands more people that live in Oregon City, so you've heard from 21 great people today. Yes, Commissioner Schrader is not here. You'll have a fifth commissioner hopefully on Monday as well, but we could bring this back as soon as next week for your action, or you could do it today, either way. But that was the intent of the discussion item today.
Commissioner Savas.
Yeah, I don't think we'll have an opportunity gathering with all of these people in the future like we do have today. And I can't speak for Commissioner Schrader, but I would be highly surprised if she wouldn't be excited and supportive of this. So again, I can't speak for her, but I would urge that we take this moment, this special moment, and move forward with the vote to support it. We have time to shape it. We have time to continue to listen to make sure whatever the agreement is and the arrangements are, and not only Commissioner Schrader, but the new commissioner as well can help shape this. If we decide to change our mind, that can happen too. But I think that it would be somewhat of a shame to pass up this opportunity. So, Chair, I just ask you to consider the motion on the floor and consider supporting it, and we have time to make adjustments as needed.
Okay, Commissioner West.
Yeah, I agree with Commissioner Savas. These people took time away from their small businesses to be here, and they should see this. They should see this move forward today. Once again, I will not speak for Commissioner Schrader. I would be floored if she did not fully want to see them have this moment today. I know Commissioner Schrader very well, and there's more opportunity for public input. And we don't always get opportunities to do these right things in front of our constituents. I want to do that today.
All right. I'm always trying to find common ground here. And what I would like to do is take a 15-minute recess. And for those viewers that are online, I would strongly encourage you to get your email comments to us right away. And if there's any that come in, I will review those, and we will come back in 15 minutes. So we'll take a short recess and be right back. All right, we'll reconvene our business meeting, and I'm going to turn to Gary. I asked him to follow up on emails and make sure, check with our staff to see if we've gotten any comments. And Gary, could you talk about that?
You had 2 responses in the last 8 minutes, both in support of moving forward with this project. You did receive about 18 emails over the last few days. They were all in support of moving forward with this project. So as Commissioner West, your motion was great. Thank you. You followed what the staff recommended. So you're not making a final decision today. You're directing staff to move forward on the paperwork, so to speak. There still are more opportunities for public comment because this will come back to you one more time with a final agreement for you to approve. So there is still opportunity for Commissioner Schrader and the new commissioner and all of you to comment more. So my suggestion is you could move forward today with this action, knowing there's still many opportunities for public comment before your final decision.
Okay, so, and I wasn't clear with that, which Gary has indicated to me that we can still get additional public comment, and I just want everybody to recognize that is what is really important to me, is making sure we're being good listeners. And I also appreciate everybody coming here. It means a lot to us to have you take time out of your day to tell us your concerns and your wishes and the direction for this county, because that is our job, is to listen and hopefully follow the direction that the majority of people would like to see. So I would probably ask just Commissioner West if he would restate his motion.
I would love to. Thank you. My motion was that the board direct staff to enter negotiations with Level Development Northwest towards a development and disposition agreement for the Main Street Courthouse and return at a future date with the drafted documents for further review.
Second.
All right, so Commissioner West has made the motion to have staff recommends that the board direct staff to enter negotiations with Level Development Northwest toward a development and disposition agreement to the Main Street Courthouse and return at a future date with draft documents for review. It's been seconded by Commissioner Savas. Any further discussion?
Yeah, Chair, just a couple comments. I'm glad we're moving forward with this vote. First of all, I also want to acknowledge all the process and all the participants, many in the room here today, but not all. There have been a lot of people that are not in the room today that have participated in the process that we set forth. We went above and beyond to try to make sure we had more involvement as much as possible, and we try to respond to the city's request for process, and I think we've done that. Gary, thank you for your support, staff support to do that. I'm excited, and not only do I think it's a special moment, but I just want to add a little humor to this. Probably part of the good news here today is I'm actually younger than the Pope. Barely, but I'm younger than the Pope.
All right, I think Commissioner West, you comment?
Yeah, I think this is an important step to make sure that we get this done. And I think that the support has been overwhelming. And we work for you, obviously. And so thank you for giving us the direction we needed to do the right thing to help the vitality of a very important part of our entire region. And it's exciting to see how that's going to develop moving forward. And thank you for showing up every day, unlocking your business doors, and doing the grind to make sure that we have small businesses like yours in our community. You are a heartbeat of Oregon City. You are vital. You are valued. And sometimes government, I think, treats you guys a little bit like a piggy bank and not like a vital asset, but you're a vital asset to who we are. And so I think this is making sure that you guys can move forward as a healthy, vibrant Main Street that's safe, livable, and welcoming to all. So we're excited for this, and I think this is the first important step to get this done. And thank you, Seth, for your proposal and to take on this complex and very challenging project.
All right, with that being said, Clerk, would you please call the poll?
Commissioner Savas.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Mr. Chair.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. All right, on to our next agenda item, Gary.
All right, you still have a while to go in this meeting, commissioners. So I ask the audience to please be quieter as we move forward. Next is the consent agenda for the Board of County Commissioners. Andrew, would you please read the consent agenda?
Consent agenda for the Board of County Commissioners. Item A, elected officials. 1, approval of previous business meeting minutes for the Board of County Commissioners. 2, approval of a personal services contract with Dial Temporary Help Service for temporary elections workers. Contract value is $1,200,000 for 3 years. Funding is through county clerk fees and approximately $576,000 of budgeted county general funds. B, transportation and development. 1, approval of a personal services contract with Consor North America for construction engineering services for 2025 paving projects. Contract value is $428,384 for 6 months. Funding is through House Bill 2017 and System Development Charge funds. No county general funds are involved. C, health, housing, and human development. 1, approval of a personal services contract with dental medical staffing for temporary dental staffing services. Contract value is $400,000 for 8 years. Funding is through health centers' fees for services. No county general funds are involved. 2, approval of a revenue healthcare services contract with Care Oregon for care provider incentives to increase utilization by Oregon Health Plan members. Contract value is $500,000 for 1 year. Funding is through Care Oregon. No county general funds are involved. 3, approval of an amendment to the revenue lease agreement with Genoa Healthcare to update the address for space at the Lake Road Health Center. Amendment has no cost. Total agreement value remains $46,290.84 for 3 years. Funding is through Genoa Healthcare. No county general funds are involved. 4, approval of a federal subrecipient agreement with Clackamas County Children's Commission for building improvements at the Barlow Head Start building. Agreement value is $200,000 for 7 months. Funding is through federal community development block grant funds. No county general funds are involved. 5, approval of a change order to a public improvement contract with Pacific Sun Construction for exterior water drainage improvements at the Haven House. Change order value is $104,420.28 for 2 months. Total contract value is $921,784 for 11 months. Funding is through Supportive Housing Services Measure funds. No county general funds are involved. 6, approval of a grant application to the Oregon Criminal Justice Commission to support restorative justice diversion programs for juveniles. Anticipated grant value is $1 million for 26 months. Funding is through the Oregon Criminal Justice Commission. No county general funds are involved. 7, approval of an intergovernmental agreement with the City of Wilsonville by and through its South Metro Area Regional Transit for transportation services. Agreement value is $90,000 for 13 months. Funding is through the Oregon Health Authority. No county general funds are involved. 8, approval of a personal services contract with Maple Star, Oregon to prepare the 23-hour Crisis Stabilization Center for opening. Contract value is $461,902 for 5 months. Funding is through the Oregon Health Authority. No county general funds are involved. Mr. Chair, that concludes the Board of County Commissioners' consent agenda.
Thank you. Any colleagues wish to remove any consent agenda items? Seeing none, may I have a motion?
Chair, I move we approve the consent agenda.
I will second.
All right, Commissioner Savas has moved to approve the consent agenda. Commissioner West has seconded that. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Savas.
Aye.
Mr. Chair.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I'll now recess as the Board of County Commissioners, convene as the North Clackamas Parks and Rec District Board of Directors. Gary, what is next?
Chair, next is the consent agenda for the North Clackamas Parks and Recreation District. Andrew, would you please read the consent agenda?
North Clackamas Parks and Recreation District Consent Agenda. Item A, approval of a correction to the park address in the previously approved board order to authorize a Metro Nature and Neighborhood Capital Grant application for park improvements at 18521 Southeast River Road, Jennings Lodge. Application value is $1 million. Funding is through Metro and a required match of $670,000 in other grant funds, Zone 2 system development charges, and the North Clackamas Parks and Recreation District General Fund. No county general funds are involved. Mr. Chair, that concludes the North Clackamas Parks and Recreation District consent agenda.
Thank you, Andrew. Any of my commissioners wish to remove any items from the consent agenda? Seeing none, may I have a motion?
I move that we approve the consent agenda as read.
Second.
All right. Commissioner West has moved to approve the North Clackamas Parks Rec District consent agenda. Director Savas has seconded that motion. Any further discussion? Seeing none, clerk, would you please call the poll for us?
Director Savas.
Aye.
Director West.
Aye.
Mr. Chair.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I'll now adjourn as the North Clackamas Parks and Rec District Board of Directors and convene as the Water Environmental Services Board of Directors. Gary?
Thank you, Chair. Next is the consent agenda for Water Environment Services. Andrew, would you please read the consent agenda?
Water Environment Services Consent Agenda. Item A, approval of a public improvement contract with JQ Construction for upgrades to wastewater chemical disinfection systems at the Hoodland Water Resource Recovery Facility. Contract value is $190,588 for 6 months. Funding is through the Water Environment Services Sanitary Sewer Construction Fund. No county general funds are involved. B, approval of an amendment with Carlo Engineers for engineering services for the Tri-City Influent Pump Station Expansion Project. Amendment value is $333,719 for 2 years. Total contract value is $2,032,850 for 2 years. Funding is through the Water Environment Services Sanitary Sewer Construction Fund. No county general funds are involved. C, approval of a public improvement contract with Trench Line Excavation for construction services during rehabilitation of the Mount Talbot Interceptor. Contract value is $638,656.19 for 4 months. Funding is through the Water Environment Services Sanitary Sewer Construction Fund. No county general funds are involved. Mr. Chair, that concludes the Water Environment Services consent agenda.
Thank you. Do my colleague directors wish to remove any items from the consent agenda? Seeing none, may I have a motion?
I move we approve the West consent agenda.
I second.
Director Savas has moved to approve the West consent agenda. Director West has seconded that motion. Any further discussion? Clerk, would you please call the poll?
Director West.
Aye.
Director Savas.
Sure.
Mr. Chair.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0, Mr. Chair.
You're just the comedian today.
All right, thank you. I will now adjourn as the Water Environmental Services Board of Directors and reconvene as the Board of County Commissioners. Gary.
Next is County Administrator update, and I have a business item for you today, Commissioners, because of the urgency of this request. I'm bringing it forward to you today. It is regarding the Clackamas County Extension and 4-H Service District and the potential purchase of a property for a new facility for the Extension District, which you know what this is, and I'll just say publicly, the former Bob's Red Mill Store and Restaurant. If you've read the email I sent you last night, the timeline has changed. The broker needs a letter of intent by 5 p.m. today. Otherwise, we are out of the picture. So with Jane's help, we've redrafted the letter of intent to say contingent on the Board of Directors of the Extension District meeting on May 20th to discuss this further. So we normally would discuss it with you in executive session, but there's not time. So I'm asking, I'm going to stop. Chair, would you please convene now as the Extension and 4-H Service Board of Directors?
I will now recess as Board of County Commissioners and convene as the Extension 4-H Service District Board of Directors.
Thank you, Chair. So the Commissioners, you serve as the governing body of the Extension and 4-H Service District. You approve of the spending of district tax dollars, which those funds would be spent on this potential purpose. So what I'm asking for you, I'm sorry, the 11th hour, you don't even have a document, it's not online. Would you authorize me to sign a letter of intent today, contingent on further board discussion next Tuesday? If we don't do that, then the deal's off. If you do allow me to sign this, it doesn't mean you're committing to this, but it gives further time for you to discuss next Tuesday, which has been scheduled as a policy session. So I'm sorry for this, again, 11th hour request, but I'm seeking your direction of what you'd like to do.
Commissioner West.
Can I defer to Commissioner Savas first?
Yes.
Thank you.
So I've been here 15 years and followed the life of what the new facility would be, and I will tell you, I know my other colleagues that once they learned of that were also very excited that the extension and the partnership with the Clackamas Community College was moving forward. And this is a change from that. And I don't really feel that I've got enough information to address my concerns. I did sit in the meeting with Chair Roberts, just two of us, with the folks. I was expecting to get handouts of a pro forma or get handouts of financials or get details, and I had none. So, I take the word intent very seriously, and I don't want it construed because for me, I'm more in the position personally. I'm personally in the position where I'm not ready to show intent. I'm ready to actually look at the documents, the rationale, the financials, and the details of this. And I walked out of that room the other day, unless I missed something, there were a handout. I walked out of that room surprised there was nothing, not just an idea. And I think that the work they've done with the college has been far more, far more engagement, far more detailed. And I didn't have that either. So I would be able to weigh. And I don't want to falsely or not genuinely use the word intent or have a letter of intent if that's not what I intend to do. And I understand, and in this time frame, I think what they're really saying is now or never. And I think that's an awkward position to put us in. And I wish there's more preparation and more material. I'm going to have a hard time with this today. I just think we're in I will use a somewhat untenable position as a responsibility of a director of this particular district.
Commissioner West.
So as commissioners, we deal with a lot of topics and issues, and this is not the one that I have been the most privy to. Commissioner Savas, Chair Roberts have been engaging much more, and so I'm relying a lot on what they're seeing, what is happening right now. My understanding is broad in general. Theirs is more specific and nuanced. And can I direct a question to council? Jane, when we see a letter go forward that says we have an intent with the caveat to future meetings, could you please explain to me legally what that is saying? What is that binding us to? And what are we committed to? And I like a legal analysis about what we're doing right now.
So the letter that was sent to us binds us to, unless we take steps within 5 days, to going through with intending to make a purchase. The way that it has been edited makes it contingent on further discussions from, I think the Board of County Commissioners needs to have a discussion as well as you in your district role. So legally, I think that this letter doesn't really do much for either party, frankly. And I don't think, this is really going to give them much assurance, to be honest. And I don't think it binds us to do anything as either as the district or as the county.
Can I? Oh, please, yeah. Yeah, so I think that I would just start out by saying I think this is not typically the normal process. And I believe that both, I see what the college has to say, I see what the Extension Service has to say, and I also see that I believe that Bob's Red Mills is also trying to help in this matter. If we don't, and because that was my concern, representing the board, we haven't decided as a group, so I can't commit, but it basically, I think it puts it on pause until our board can discuss it and make a decision. If we don't, we kill the deal. And that's a little concern because I do feel like we need some more information to make a decision. Again, I always like to include Martha or my colleagues that aren't here. And so with that being said, I would encourage us to move forward with what Jane is recommending as a letter that does protect us as a board, and that we address this first thing this next week and make a decision on that. So, so Gary, would you like to add anything else, and then I'll go to you, Commissioner West.
Yes, thank you. And that was the intent. If you were to agree to this letter of intent, it just buys time until Tuesday. You do have a scheduled policy session on this already, next Tuesday, May 20th. And again, I mean, you're being put in a box respectfully by the Bob's Red Mill folks. They're saying, do this today or you're out. So their urgency is now your urgency, but it really shouldn't be. So that's all I'm asking. Do you agree? And Jane has helped reward this letter to protect the county and the district. But I just need your action today, yes or no, for this letter.
So, sorry.
Yeah, you're up.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
so, finish my thoughts. My understanding is that this opportunity arose because Bob Red Mill, through their own graciousness, wanted, and their connection to these types of services and educational opportunities in higher ed and agricultural needs and workforce issues, was very motivated to go through a public process to work with us to get this done potentially, and a lot of people became very excited by it. I did not expect today at all, or an email in the 11th hour, to almost feel like it's a different tone. It's hard to make a decision based on that because I don't understand the relationship being established. It sounds like, so I guess that's just like how my perception is. I think it's important that I say that out loud. The other thing that I'm thinking of is this letter going to be effective? Because Jen, you basically said it's not what they are asking for, but why is there a change in tone? And do they truly want to go through this process, or do they have a more lucrative offer that makes it not, that they can't turn away? And that's okay, it's their property. But I mean, I'm willing to do what the board wants to do. I don't have like a hard decision on this, but I'm having a hard understanding if we go into this lengthy public process, which it must be because that's how this works, and public has to speak, and there's a lot of other entities involved. Are we going, I feel strong-armed in a way that's not common for public entities. So I don't know, like it's hard to make a decision to kind of throw some intent there, but nothing that's legally binding, it sounds like. Are we gonna get back and just I mean, we may do it and they may say like, well, yeah, that's not what we're looking for. It's sold somewhere else and we all move on and it is what it is. But I'm trying to like navigate this a little bit. So I don't know, Jane, if you have anything else to add, or Gary, if you're getting do we speak to a broker directly, or has the thoughts of the owners of Bob's has it changed? Why?
I'm speaking to the broker of Bob's Red Mill at the request of Chair Roberts and Commissioner Savas at the other meeting. So there is a second offer on the table.
Okay.
And that company, the other offer said they need to know by today, are they in or out? So they're kind of putting pressure on Bob's Red Mill. Bob's Red Mill's not putting pressure on us. So they have a guaranteed deal in hand, and so if there's no interest in the district of going forward, they just want to know today, or if there might be interest, then Bob's Red Mill is going to wait on both offers until you, as a board, have a chance to talk about it next week.
Thank you for that perspective. Here's also how it works in the business world. Like, that's how it works. Like, sometimes it doesn't work at the pace of government, right? Like, this is a deal. This is a valuable piece of property that's desirable. This is important to us, and we didn't have this opportunity that long ago. And maybe we just, in good faith, have to be nimble and do it and take a risk. I am willing to, the three of us have to come to a decision regardless today. So I'm just being super open how I'm talking about this, but we've all done business deals and this is sometimes what happens.
Commissioner Savas.
Yeah, well, it pains me to say or hear that if we don't do this, we kill it. When, I mean, that's putting the onus on us. We're not trying to kill anything, for crying out loud, because, obviously this came out across suddenly. They had an opportunity to meet with us and be prepared, but they weren't. The letter that I saw, or the email I got from you yesterday, absent the one late last night, was that they would pause this till Tuesday, the 20th, if I recall, if that's my.
That was Wednesday's email.
Right.
It was Tuesday's email to you. Wednesday, I got a different answer.
Right.
Which was what I was
Right. So so that's what I'm referring to. So I got comfort in that I could at least reach out to the college board, because when I listened to the meeting Chair Roberts and I participated in, the college board, as I posed the question, wasn't even knowledgeable about that. I just think that that's a key location, that college. I'm excited because there's traffic, it's education-based, it's got location, it's easy to get to, it's in the heart of Clackamas County, you know, especially in the agriculture aspects of it. It's got all the right stuff. You know, but at the same token, Chair Roberts said it a little bit, I'll say it a little bit differently. He kind of recognized this. I don't want to forego an opportunity or basically end an opportunity that maybe Commissioner Schrader couldn't chime into. So words matter. I don't like the word letter of intent, but I'd sign a letter of consideration, but I would not sign a letter or approve a letter of intent because that word means something.
Mr. West.
How much is the property?
There, that's.
Is that not, that's all,
I don't think
that's all
you should not discuss
I
that
didn't ask
publicly,
that.
yeah.
Sorry, we're negotiations. I mean, here's my thoughts is like, I don't want to do a dog and pony show government letter that if it's not going to like continue to move the ball down the field for us to have this asset and opportunity that doesn't come up like ever. So is this letter effective? Or are we just like placating a little bit to massage it the best we can without actually doing what they're requiring in a business deal? Or do we do nothing? Or do we do a real letter of intent that just says, we're going to have to take a risk here and then navigate it after that fact? There's a lot more decisions down the road besides a letter of intent before a deal's done. Am I right, Jane? There's a lot more. There's not, this says, a letter of intent can be like, we intend to do this, but there's all these conditions associated with an intent. This is not a purchase and sale agreement. There's, you know, is there inspections? Is there other things that we need to go through, other agreements that we have to have? We can intend to do a lot. It doesn't mean that that intent becomes reality. So if we signed a real letter of intent, what is legally binding by that, and what does that position does that put us in? Because I feel like this letter is like not a letter of intent, but we're gonna make it look like a letter of intent, and I don't know if that's doing any good for us. I don't like that. If we're gonna do it, do it. If we're not, we're not, I think is what I am more comfortable with. And I'm curious what you think. What is a real letter of intent? What does that mean?
I think that the point of a letter of intent is to set benchmark deadlines where you have to commit at certain stages. And so I agree with you. As written, right now we say at the very beginning, we may or may not do this, and then here are all these benchmarks. So I think if the board were to send a letter, I think Commissioner Savas's suggestion of making it, we will consider this pending review, and just having it very short and not having any deadlines might be the best approach for this board and for the district to take. However, you know, Bob's Red Mill may not accept it.
And if I could just comment, I think that you really said it well, is that the business oftentimes moves faster than government.
Yeah.
And the way I look at this is that we are not making a commitment. We're saying we are going to look at this, we're going to consider it, and it may or may not happen. And I think that as we told OSU Extension staff to come and present, they have a number of factors as to why that is good. I think it's important that you hear that. I don't want to translate that. And so that is where we've already got that scheduled for them to come. And if we don't at least express that we are considering this, and that's how I look at it, we're considering this. We're also taking into consideration what the college wants, what we all see as kind of the best direction moving forward. They had some compelling arguments, and so did the college. So it is somewhat complicated, but I feel like, once again, it's important for us to hear all the facts before we make a decision. And what we are saying is we're giving them a little bit of time to come forward. And I think that that's what the mortgage company or whoever's negotiating this just wants to see, that we are considering it. And we'll basically weigh the totality of the information brought before us. So as Gary had said, we need direction on it. I would recommend that we go ahead and sign a letter that is approved by Jane, that protects the county. And I do believe that they do want some sort of timeline. I mean, you can't say, I'll get back to you in 60 days on this. And I think it's our intent to get a decision quickly anyway. So if that's the case, so Commissioner West, you had a comment.
Yeah, I'm going to just transparently, I'm leaning towards, and I have not made a decision on the fly here yet as we talk about this, I'm leaning towards what would be standard letter of intent, which, if I'm understanding you correctly, Council, can have benchmarks and off-ramps as things must be met, which is standard in a real letter of intent, not a government gobbledygook letter of intent that kind of plays around with maybe looks like a letter of intent. Or that if the three of us can, and we would, I don't know how we do that by 5 o'clock, because I know we have packed schedules and this meeting
Yeah.
only has so long, and you have to draft something before the board even can see it. This is not normally how we would ever want to do business. This is unique. We never want to do business this way. But we have trust in you, and Gary. But I want to know, I don't want to do a consideration letter. I don't want to do anything that's not, like, they're coming to us they're making an offer to us as a business, in a business deal. We should respond in kind, in the way that is professionally standard to do so. Either no, or here's our letter of intent, here's what you should expect with a letter of intent working with the government and this type of thing, with a bunch of off-ramps and benchmarks and timelines. If we can produce that by 5, I can probably support that. That sounds reasonable to me. I don't like making decisions this way, but that's kind of where I'm leaning right now. I can be compelled a different way too. I'm not like totally set. So I'll leave my comments at that.
Commissioner Savas.
So I'll say it again and maybe throw out some language maybe that gets, thread the needle to doing something here. I'm certainly not a hard no on the concept, right? I don't think anyone is, right? We're not saying no. And we're not saying yes, but I don't want to sign something that says we intend to buy, because that's going to be politically misperceived by others who really care about this project. They may want to see it go at the college. I would sign a letter that's a letter of intent to consider, but I think that I don't want to have the word letter of intent all by itself. It means something, but if it's a letter of intent to consider, I can get there. But so it might. That's my way to being as transparent and honest about what my intention is. I would like to consider it. I would like to make sure our colleagues who are not here today, one unnamed, we don't know who that is, and Commissioner Schrader, so they can weigh on this. I don't want to take that opportunity away from them. So Jane, does that have, is that a viable thing? We can make it a letter of intent to consider. Is that viable?
Yeah, I think we can make it, I think we can use language like contingent or consider. My question for the directors right now is, there is a policy session on this on Tuesday. Can we put in the letter that there will be a decision forthcoming after that policy decision, or are you going to wait for the 5th commissioner, who will not be there on Tuesday?
And I'm not here. You just only have 3.
Yeah.
Or 4, actually.
Gary.
Why don't you not write any letter, and I'll stick to the original direction of this board, that the board will discuss it on Tuesday, May 20th, and we'll have more direction then.
But
That's the truth.
I know, but they want it by 5.
I know.
So
That's
like,
I don't
Again,
think we're there yet, though. And
This
I
whole
think-
process from the beginning has been
So,
awkward, right?
but I do believe, Gary, can we have a decision on that date? I believe we can.
I'm expecting you to give a yes, either move forward or no next Tuesday. I mean, you really have to.
Yeah.
Not that, I mean, even, I need this more information to make a decision, but if the answer is no, then be done with it next Tuesday.
Right. And just for my colleagues, I have a dead stop, so I'm not sure who popped up first.
real quick. Here's the reality. They have a second viable real offer. Working with governments is messy and long. They need to do what they need to do for their best interest for their property. We very well are just gonna be like, oh, we didn't get till Tuesday, so we said goodbye to probably a very rare opportunity that would be, quite inspirational and I mean, just quite fantastic. So, I mean, that's what you're asking us to do, Gary, is take such a conservative approach that we will lose this opportunity.
I am.
Yep.
These are public dollars. You're not a business. You represent 420,000 people, so.
So
this is a big
again, I
decision.
think the question is, are we in support of the letter, allowing Jane, who's the attorney, to kind of, I'm confident she'll best protect us and the legal matters, no matter what the terms is. And then, so I think I need from my colleagues is, are you in support of Jane submitting a letter? If not, we're back to where Gary's at, so.
To your question, Chair, as I proposed with the word consider in the same line as the word intent, I could get there. So if it's titled a letter of intent to consider, I'll be supportive. And I do want to say that if we're going to make a stronger decision on Tuesday, I want to make it very clear. I want to see financials, pro forma, and I also want to hear from the College Board about this, what their thoughts are. You know, we just got off a huge meeting and decision here today on something that had months of process, and we're going to make a call here today with no process. That's not responsible. So if it says letter of intent to consider, I'm a yes.
Okay, are you there?
I'm there.
So I moved.
I'm there, so,
Yeah, I moved
yeah.
to draft, to authorize Jane and Gary to draft a letter of intent to consider on this matter.
Did we need a motion, or is it just a direction?
Do a motion, please.
I'll second.
Okay. Paul, would you repeat that?
I move to direct staff to draft up a letter of intent to consider on this matter.
And seconded by me.
Okay. So Commissioner Savas has made a motion to direct staff to create a letter with the
Letter of intent to consider.
letter of intent to consider. And Commissioner West has seconded that motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Clerk, would you please call the poll?
Director West.
Aye.
Director Savas.
Aye.
Mr. Chair.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0, Mr. Chair.
Who would you like to sign the letter, the chair or me?
Whatever's expedient.
Well, Chair, you're leaving, so I'll be here. I'll sign the letter I'll sign the letter, and you will not have a chance to see the letter again, so you're okay with me and Jane after we write this to send it. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Very good. That was my administrator update. Chair, if you'll reconvene as the Board of Commissioners,
Wow.
please.
So I'll now adjourn as the Extension 4H Service District Board of Directors, reconvene as the Board of County Commissioners. And Gary, do you have anything else?
No, your last item is Commissioner Communications.
All right. Commissioner Savas.
I'll keep it very short because it's been a long day, and I know that we all have things to do. I just want to do a special shout out. You know, we cut 2 ribbons, one yesterday and one last Saturday on the courthouse. I want to, you know, this is not the moment for it, but I just want to acknowledge that I really think that we ought to, number one, celebrate all the projects we've done and give a lot of credit to our administrator and our staff for all the accomplishments. We have accomplished more in 5 years than in the history of my being here, and then some. And I think that acknowledgement of that has to be made, and I want to make it in a more formal way, Gary. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the things that you've done. I know it's been a lot of work and stress, but I don't have the time here to name them all, but we know there's a lot of stuff we're moving on. We've done incredible work on a very tight budget. Thank you, Chair. I yield back.
Commissioner West.
I will also be quick, but I want to bring some more good news about amazing things happening in Clackamas County that also must be celebrated. This is massive. We just received the largest state award for HCS just announced that the state's Housing Stability Council approved a $36 million funding allocation to Clackamas County for Clackamas Heights. It was 99 homes that were outdated and somewhat derelict, and now will be over 200 significant infrastructure improvements on top of that. This is a major housing priority for the region and for the county, and it was like 87 or 90 applicants. 12 got some funds from the state. We received the largest in the state. This is quite inspiring. This helps deal with our housing crisis. It is a massive project that we're going to be working with our cities and and here at the county to make this happen. A lot has gone into receive this $36 million funding. It's also going to provide cottage clusters, individual living spaces that provide a lot of dignity and support to people. We'll help people find new homes. We'll reallocate and relocate nearly 25% of the households that are there. It is super exciting. We've been talking about this long before I was a commissioner, and these fundings are something to absolutely celebrate as we continue to do massive projects in a competent way with a competent, well-working local government. I'm super proud of Clackamas County. I just want to piggyback that news off of what you just said, Commissioner Savas. And with that, I will yield back.
Thank you, Commissioner West. One quick reminder for folks. This coming Monday, May 19th, we'll be interviewing the 5 finalists for Clackamas County Commission position number 4. So I'm eager to hear from the candidates and have our 5th colleague join us. It has been a challenge with just having 4 of us, so I'm looking forward to that. So with that, on behalf of the Board of County Commissioners, thank you for joining us today. There's no other further business. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.